This session, we will start from discussing on the compound angle formula in trigonometry. When we are discussing about the trigonometry in the previous session, what we have done was if you are having an angle given, then to obtain the sine, cosine, tangent, as well as it's the what we have learned as the reciprocal identities. We have discussed about obtaining values for the angles as said. In the compound angle formula, suppose that if you can write down an angle having the addition of another two angles or the subtraction of another two angles, then we can apply this compound angle in a situation like that. As an example, suppose that if we are using the angles which are familiar for us. As an example, suppose that you are asked to find out the value of sine 75 degrees. If it is sine 75 degrees, using the value table that we are having, or using the common values or the common ratios for sine angles we are having, we may not be able to easily find out a value for this sine 75 degrees. Therefore, in a situation like that, what you can do is you can divide this angle into addition of two other angles. Therefore, in this situation, what I am going to do is I will try to write it as sine 45 degrees plus 35. This does not make any harm. You cannot write it in this way. Therefore, if you are writing it in sine 45 plus sine 35, then it will not be equal to sine 75. Therefore, this is the wrong way. Therefore, we are not going to discuss, we are not going to write the sine 75 as the summation of two other sine functions. Here, what we are going to do is inside the same sine function we are having, we are trying to divide this angle into two other angles. Here it should be changed as this 30 degrees. 45 degrees plus 30 degrees gives us the value as the sine 75. Therefore, now what we can do is using a concept like using this concept, we can simply obtain the value for sine 75 degrees. Therefore, what we are seeing here is if we are having the addition of, or if you need to take the sine value of the addition of two angles, then we can find out these values. If we are having sine a plus b, then it can be written as sine a times cosine b. It is the sine value of the first angle times the cosine value of the second angle plus cosine value of the first angle times sine value of the second angle, which is mentioned as angle b. Then if you are having sine a minus b, if you are having sine a minus b, then you can write it as sine a times cosine b minus cosine a times sine b. Therefore, in the first two equations, the difference is plus and minus. Therefore, according to the sign we are using here, you are saying it as sine a plus cosine b. If it is plus, then you are connecting with plus sign. If it is minus, then it is connected with the minus sign. Then the latter term will be cosine a times sine b. Then we will see about the cosine function of addition of two angles and the subtraction of two angles. If you need to get the cosine of a plus b, then you can take it as cosine a cosine b minus sine a sine b. If it is cosine a minus b, then we can take it as cosine a into cosine b plus sine a into sine b. But in here, what we are having, if it is cosine, then the sign which is used here, the opposite sign of the sign used here will be used to connect the two terms, and the two terms will be cosine values of angle A into cosine value of angle B, and sine value of angle A into sine value of angle B. And then we can obtain the tangent A plus B. Tangent a plus b will be tan a plus tan b divided by 1 minus tan a tan b. And if you are taking the value for tan a minus b, here we can take it as tan a minus tan b divided by 1 plus tan a tan b. Using the angle or using the compound angle formula for sine a plus b and cosine a plus b, we will be able to obtain an answer for this tan a plus b in this way, and tan a minus b can be again obtained by taking the quotient or the quotient ratios of sine a minus b and cosine a minus b. By taking the ratios, we can take the value for tan a minus b as well. And here we are, I'm not going to discuss about this proof at this moment. First I'll try to use these equations to identify the values for the angles. What we know is, we know that generally we know the values of the most commonly using angles, 0, 30 degrees, 45, 60 and 90. And with the radian measures, if you are saying it, it is 0, 5 over 6, 5 over 4, 5 over 3 and 5 over 2. Therefore we know the sine ratios, cosine ratios and tangent ratios. Therefore now we will see about using this table, how we can or using this table along with the compound angle formula, how we can obtain the values for sine, cosine and tangent ratios for this compound angle. Here what we are having is, first we need to take the value for sine 75 degrees. If you are taking it as degree measure, then if you write it as sine 45 degrees plus sine 30, you are able to, if you need, you can interchange these two angles as well. It is 30 comes first and 45 comes later. Therefore the order is not important, but anyhow you should obtain this the summation should obtain for sine, or the summation should satisfy the value as 75 degrees. Therefore, if you are having the addition of two angles, what we have saw was, if you are having sine A plus B, what we are saying it as, we are writing it as sine A here it is given as sine A cosine B, sine A cosine B plus cosine A sine B. Then we can write this as the addition of these two, sine A cosine B plus cosine A times sine B. Therefore, this is what we have observed in the equation. Now we'll try to do the substitution. Instead of 75, now we have written as the addition of two angles, 75, 45 plus 30. Then we can write it as the angles, it is sine 45 degrees into cosine 30 plus cosine 45 into sine 30. Then we know that value of sine 45. In the table, we have observed that the sine 45 was obtained as root 2 over 2. Here we are having the value as sine 45 degrees. It was observed as root 2 divided by 2. Then cosine 30. Cosine 30 was obtained as root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2. Then plus cosine 45 is again equal to root 2 over 2, and sine 30 is equal to half. Therefore, once you perform this calculation, I can take the root 2 from the above, and for the multiplication of this 2 with 2 for the below. Then we'll get here root 2 over 4, and then remaining is root 3 plus. And therefore, if you solve this value, if you need to take it is the in the decimal way, then what you can do is you can just obtain the value for root 2 and root 3 and do the calculation. Then you will end up with the calculation as a decimal value. Therefore, this is how we are using the compound angle formula for sine A plus B. And suppose that if you are having another for this here, if I take this sine, if you are considering about this angle with the radian measures, if I take the value as sine 7 pi/12, if it is sine 7 pi/12, if you need to obtain a value for this angle, here what with this 7 pi/12, yeah, if you are not familiar with radian, first what you can do is you can convert it into the degree measures just to have an idea only. Therefore, this can be taken as if you need only, we can do is this 7 pi/12, it is equal to 180/12, it is degrees, then this will be equal to 105 degrees, which can be written simply as 60 degrees plus 45 degrees. Instead of 60, we can have it as 5/3. Here it can be taken as 5/4. Therefore, now what we can do is as the addition, what you can do, we can write this as value of sine 5 divided by 3. It is written as sine 5 divided by 3 plus 5 divided by 4. Then using this formula, now we can, or this addition of these two angles, we can obtain the value for sine 7 pi divide by 12. Therefore this is not compulsory, but if you are not, if you are familiar with the radian measures well, then you can simply or directly we can write down this 7 pi/12 as 5/3 plus 5/4. But if you are not familiar, what you can do is you can convert it into decimals, convert it into degrees, and thereafter you can again find out the identical radian measures for the degree measures. Then here what you can do is here you are again getting this as it is quite the same as the form sine a plus b. Then what you can write down is here it is sine 5/3 is written. Then you can write down it as the sine 5/3. Then cosine 5/4 will be here plus cosine, it is cosine 5/3 times sine 5/4. Now, if you do this calculation, you can take this sine 5/3. Sine 5/3, you can take the value as here you have identified 5/3. It is sine is root 3/2. Then you can write down this value as this is equal to root 3/2. Then multiplied with cosine 5/4. Cosine 5/4, it is root 2/2. Then is plus cosine 5/3 is again equal to half. Then sine 5/4 is again equal to root 2/2. Therefore, if you form this calculation, here also you will get this as root 2/4 multiplied with root 3 plus 1. And if you are taking another example on this matter, if you are taking um, okay, then we will move for the addition of cosines. Therefore, the next example we are taking for cosine a plus b. If you need to take the cosine value of this a plus b, what we can write it as sorry. Here first we'll discuss about the sine a minus b as well. We will see the value for sine a minus b. Sine a minus b was written as sine a times cosine b minus cosine a times sine b. Therefore, using this equation, now we'll try to find out the sine, the summation of the, or writing down the compound angle, or taking the sine value of the compound angle. Now what we can do is here if I ask to find out the value of sine 15, simply if it is sine 15, sine 15, sorry, sine 15, then you cannot directly read out, but if you're having a calculator or there are some other methods you can find out. But using the compound angle formula, if you are obtaining the value for sine 15 degree, then we can write it as the summation of two angles. It is because this cannot be directly written as the addition of the angles to get an value. Therefore, instead of writing it as an addition, what we can say is we can say it is equal to sine 60 degrees minus 45 degree. Then what we can do is here we are taking the sine 60 degree minus 45, then according to the equation we can write it as sine 60 cosine 45 minus cosine 60 sine 45. Then sine 60 is equal to root 3 over 2, cosine 45 it is root 2 over 2 minus cosine 60 value is equal to half, sine 45 value is equal to root 2 over 2. Then what we can do is we can take out the common terms. It is root 2 over 4. Then this is equal to root 3 minus. This is how we can do it. It is for the subtraction of two angles, and if you need you can just convert these values into the radian measures, and you can just have a practice on that as well. And now I will move for the summation of the compound angles. It is the for the cosine function. If you are having cosine a plus b, then this can be written as cosine a times cosine b minus sine a times sine b. According to the equation here, if you check back for the equation given, cosine a plus b, it is cosine a times cosine b minus sine a times sine b. Then here what we can take is if you are taking the same example as previous, if you are taking the cosine value of 75 degrees, if it is cosine value of 75 degrees, then what we can do is using the compound angle formula, you can write this as the cosine value of 45 degrees plus 30 degree. Then we can write this as this way: cosine a cosine b minus sine a sine b. Then this can be written as cosine 45 times cosine 30 minus sine 45 times sine 30. Cosine 45 in this sense it is root 2 over 2. Then cosine 30 root 3 over 2 minus sine 45 again root 2 over 2 and sine 30, it is again you are getting the value as half. Then you may get the values, it is root 2 over 2, then we can get the value as root 3 minus 1. And if you need another example, we can try for the radian measures as well. Therefore, please be familiar with the radian measures. Then we will move for the next one. It is the using the compound angle as a subtraction of two angles and getting the cosine value of them. Cosine a minus b can be written as cosine a into cosine b plus sine a into sine. Therefore, This is how we are taking the compound angle, the cosine function of the compound angle, if the angle is given as a minus b, or simply the subtraction of two angles. Therefore, here again I will take the example. It is the value of cosine 15 degrees. 15 degrees in the sense we can take it as cosine A, cosine B form. Here we can take it as cosine A minus B. Then we can take this as cosine 60 degrees minus 45 degrees. Then we can write it in this way, cosine 60 into cosine 45 plus sine 60 into sine 45. Using the substitution, we can the substitution for this known value angles, cosine of the known angle, then it is 60 degree. It is cosine 60 equals to half. Then cosine 45 it is root 2 over 2 plus sine 60 it is root 3 over 2 into sine 45 it is again root 2 over 2. Then we can take the common terms out, then it will be equal to root 2 over 4. Then we can take it as 1 plus root. Therefore this will be cosine A minus B. And thereafter what we can do is we can obtain the value for tangent A plus B and tangent A minus B. If it is tangent A plus B, tangent A plus B, then we can take the equation as for the tangent A plus B given as tan A plus tan B divided by 1 minus tan A tan B. Tangent A plus B, if you need to find out the angle, then we can write it as tan A plus tan B, addition of the angles, then 1 minus tan A times tan B. Therefore, this is the equation that we are used to obtain the tan function or the tan value for the compound angles. Here we can say actually it is tan A plus tan B. Then it is if you need to find out the value of tan 105 degrees. If it is tan 105 degrees, you can write it as it is equal to tan 60 degree plus tan 45 degree. Then we can write it as tan 60. It is equal, we can say it as tan 60 in the sense we'll get it as first angle it is tan 60, then plus tan 45, 1 minus tan 60 degrees into tan 45 degrees. Therefore, this is how we are writing the summation of two angles, this compound angle, then tan 60. For the tan 60, we have got it as tan 60 it is it means you are getting as root 3, and tan 45 it is equal to 1. Therefore, if you do the appropriate substitution, then you will get it as tan 60 root 3, it is plus 1 divided by 1 minus tan 60 degrees, tan 60 in the sense it is again root 3 multiplied with 1. Then if you form this calculation, you will get it as root 3 plus 1 over 1 minus root 3. If you need, you can just write in this way, 1 minus root 3. Here you can see that you are getting, or in the previous session we have discussed about the quadrant rule. Here we know that first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Here we are getting all the functions as positive. Here sign is positive. The third quadrant cosine is positive. For the fourth quadrant, tangent is positive. Now you can see that it is tan 150 degrees falls into the second region or the second quadrant. Since only the sine function is only positive, we'll get all the others as negative. Once you check about this value, here we can see that root 3 is a value which is greater than 1. It is 1.73 and something. Then if you do the substitution, here you will get for the denominator it will be a negative value. Therefore the division of these two quantities or these this numerator and denominator, again you will end up with the minus value for this answer. Therefore now you can see that even though you are using compound angle formula or any other technique, all this will satisfy this quadrant root rule as well. Therefore here you can see that for the tan 105, if you do this calculation, here you will get it as 1 plus 1.73 and some quantity will be there for root 3. Then here it will be 1 minus 1.73 and so on. Therefore you can see that this is a positive quantity, but in the denominator 1 minus a quantity which is greater than 1, then here you will get minus. Therefore this division ends up with the this the tangent value of 105 degrees as minus, which satisfy the quadrant root rule as well. Then for the last one, here I will take it as the tangent of a minus b. Tangent of a minus b, then this can written as tan a minus tan b divided by 1 plus tan a tan. Here I will take the angles as I will take the example as obtaining the value for the tangent 15. Tangent 15 can be taken as tan. Here we can take it as using the compound angle formula. It is tangent 60 minus 45 degrees. Then here you can say that it is tan a minus b. Then we can take it as tan a minus tan b divided by 1 plus tan a tan b. According to this rule, we can take the values. Then tan 60 degrees again equal to root 3. Then here you will get it as minus 1. Then 1 plus tan a is root 3. Then tan 45 is equal to 1. Then if you form this calculation, here you will get it as root 3 minus 1 and 1 plus root 3, and if you need you can write it just the interchange in the terms in the denominator. It is just root 3 plus 1. Here now you can see that root 3 is again equal to 1.73 and so on. Then for the numerator you are getting a positive value. For the denominator definitely it is a positive value. Then you will end up with this calculation as a positive value. Now you can see that here you can see that the 15 degrees again in the first quadrant. In that case you will should get a positive value. Therefore even using the compound angle formula we are getting the values which satisfy the quadrant rule as well. Now suppose that if you are having the compound angle formulas, then we had a quantity for this tan a plus b. It was given as tan a plus tan b 1 minus tan a tan b. Then tan a minus b was written as tan a minus tan b divided by 1 plus tan a tan b. Therefore these are two quantities that we can prove from using The quotient ratio what we have learned was, if you are having tan theta, this can be taken as sine theta divided by the cosine theta. Therefore, if you need to obtain this tan A plus B, if you need to prove this, then we can take this tan A plus B is equal to sine A plus B divided by the cosine A plus B. Then if you, since we need to show this quantity in the right hand side of the equation, we'll continue it here. Instead of sine A plus B, what we can say, it is equal to sine A times cosine B plus cosine A into sine B. This is what we had for sine A plus B, and then we can write it for the cosine A plus B as well. Then it can be taken as cosine A into cosine B minus sine A into sine B. But for this proof, what you can see is in the numerator and denominator, we are having the tangent values. Therefore, in the numerator, it is in the denominator, the first term is 1 and the next term connected with minus sign, and it has also tan ratios. Therefore, what I can do is, here we can see that cosine A times cosine B is here. Then I am trying to divide each and every term of this quotient by this cosine A, cosine B. Therefore, simply we can say that we are dividing numerator and denominator by cosine A times cosine B. If you divide them separately, then we can say it as sine A into cosine B divided by cosine A into cosine B. I have separated the division. Then cosine A into sine B, it is cosine A into cosine B. Then this entire equation is divided by cosine A into cosine B. This is what we had initially. Now this has also divided by cosine A times cosine B. And then we can have it for sine A and sine B. And initially we had sine A times sine B. Then this has to be again divided by cosine A times cosine B, since we are dividing all the terms by the cosine A times cosine B. Now, if you do the calculation for term by term, here you can see that cosine B and cosine B cancel out. Then sine A divided by cosine A gives the value as the tangent A. Then in this term, cosine A and cosine will be cancel out. Then sine B divided by cosine B. Here we are getting this as tangent B divided by, here we can see that cosine A cancel out cosine A into cosine B cancel out cosine B. Entire term is cancelling out. Therefore, the remaining is equal to 1. Here it is, the first part should be plus. For the second part is sine A, cosine A, sine B, cosine B. Therefore, if you separately divide them, then we can say this as tangent A into tangent B. Therefore, this is how we are getting the equation for tan A plus B based on the equations what we are having for the sine A plus B and cosine A plus B. Now we will prove this for the subtraction of the angles as well. Here we are having the tangent A minus B. Using the quotient rule or the quotient ratios, we can say it is equal to sine A minus B divided by the cosine A minus B. Sine A minus B divided by cosine A minus B. What we can write here is subtraction of two angles. It is sine A times cosine B minus cosine A times sine B. The entire part is divided by the equation for cosine A minus B. It is cosine A into cosine B plus sine A into sine B. Here also what we are going to do is we are going to divide each and every term by cosine A times cosine B. Since we need to make this point as 1, since you can see it is given in this equation, we are just going to prove it. Then we can take the division separately. Then it is sine A times cosine B divided by cosine A into cosine B minus, here we are having cosine A into sine B, then divide this by cosine A into cosine B. Entire term is, so entire part is divided by cosine A times cosine B. This is what we had initially. This also needed to divided by cosine A times cosine B. Then plus, here we are having sine A times sine B. Then divide this by cosine A into cosine B. If you form the calculation, then cosine B cancel out, sine A divided by cosine A, it is tangent A, minus, here we can have the cancellation of cosine A, then sine B divided by cosine B, it is tangent B, then this part has to be entirely divided by, here we can see that all the terms are cancelled out and we'll get the value as 1, then this plus sine A divided by cosine A, sine B divided by cosine B, we can do it separately as tan A times tan B. Therefore, this is the equation we are obtaining for tan A minus B. This is for the compound angle formulas that we are having, and then we will obtain the equations for the double angle formula. Here double angle formula, in the sense, if you are having the angles which can be written as the double or 2 times as given angle, then we can use this double angle formula in such situations. Therefore, if you are doing the calculation without the calculator, using the frequently using angles, then again this double angle formula can be directly used for the calculations. And here what we can do is we can obtain this double angle formula based on this compound angle formula. If you see about the angle, this double angle formula, one for the sine function, and there are 3 for the cosine function, and another 1 for the tangent function. And here what we can do is we can prove this double angle formula using the compound angle formula. Then if we are directly go for the proof of this double angle formula, here first I need to obtain an equation of sine 2 times a. Here sine 2 times a, in the sense 2 times the angle a, therefore I can write it as the using the compound angle formula as sine a plus a. Instead of 2a, I have written it using a plus a using the compound angle formula. Then if you are having sine a plus b, what we had was, if we are having sine a plus b, we had sine A into cosine B plus cosine A into sine B. Therefore, using this concept, we'll try to write down the values. The first part would be sine value of first angle, it is sine A, then multiplied with cosine value of the laterally mentioned angle. Now it is also A. It is because now we are considering 2 times A. Then this plus, here we are taking the cosine A times, here we are getting sine A. Cosine value of first angle and sine value of second angle. Therefore, making our calculation is, we can just have the interchange in the term, since it is multiplication. Simply, if we are having 3 by 2, then this is equal to 2 by 3 as well. Therefore, using this concept, I will take sine A first and then I will take cosine A later. Therefore, once you see about these two terms, you can see that we are having the similar terms, two similar terms. Therefore, the addition can be given as 2 times sine A cosine A. Therefore, the value that we are taken for sine 2 times A can be directly obtained using the sine 2 times A. It is 2 times sine A plus times cosine A. And if you are considering an example on this matter, if you ask to find out the value of sine 120 degrees, sine 120 degrees, what you can do is using the commonly using angles, you can say this is equal to, it is sine 2 times 60 degrees. Now we can say that value of A is equal to 60. Therefore, we can directly use this equation. It is now 2 times sine 60 into cosine 60. Then we can say it is sine 60, it is 2 times sine 60 is it is root 3 over 2. Then multiplied with cosine 60, it is half. Then we'll end up with this calculation at root 3 over 2. Now you can see that 120 degrees is again in the second quadrant. Now you can see that in the second quadrant we are having here for the all as positive, but in the second quadrant we can see that only the sign is positive. Now we can see that even though you are using compound angle or double angle formula, you are getting the same results, that we are getting a positive value for sine 120. And now we will move for the cosine 2 times A, obtaining an equation for cosine 2 times A. Here what we can do is cosine 2 times A. This can be written as the summation of two angles. It is cosine A plus cosine A plus A. According to the equation we are having, we know that the cosine A plus B is equal to cosine A into cosine B minus sine A into sine B. Then we can write down using this concept, we can take it as cosine A into cosine A plus A. Then we can take the cosine value of the first angle, it is cosine A, into the cosine value of the second angle, it is again equal to cosine A, since we are having the same angles as A and B. Then this minus, we are getting it as sine A times sine A. Then this leads to the answer as cosine squared of A. The square term of it is because the same the similar term multiplied 2 times. Then this minus the sine squared A. Therefore, this is one equation we can simply take for cosine 2 times A. Then if you need, you can instead of this we can find out some alternative forms of this cosine 2a. The next way is if you are using this equation, but what you know is, you know that cos squared a plus sine squared a, or what you know, using the theta angle, I will say cosine theta plus if you are having the sine square theta, what you know is this is equal to 1. Therefore, by applying this in the equation, then you can say that cosine 2a, here what I will take is, instead of cosine squared, I will take instead of cosine squared a, I will write it as 1 minus sine squared. Instead of cosine squared theta, I have used this equation and subject this cosine squared theta gives the value as 1 minus sine squared theta. Then this part will be 1 minus sine squared a, and then subtract the laterally mentioned quantity. It is again sine squared a. This results to the value as cosine 2a equals 1 minus 2 times sine squared a. 1 minus 2 times sine squared a. And again, using the same equation, what you can obtain is for the cosine 2 times a, cosine 2 times a, what we are having is cosine squared a minus sine squared a. Therefore, instead of sine squared a, again we can subject the sine squared theta from here. Then for this part, it will be 1 minus cosine squared a. If you perform this calculation here, you will get cos squared a minus 1 plus again it is cos squared a. This leads to the value, the equation as 2 times cos squared a minus 1. It is for the 2 times the angle a. It is its cosine 1. Therefore, cosine 2a equals 2 times cos squared a minus 1. Therefore, if you combine all these equations, then you can say that cosine 2 times a is equal to, first we have obtained that it is equal to cos squared a minus sine squared a, and itself this is equal to 1 minus 2 times sine squared a, as well as it is equals to 2 times cosine squared a minus 1. These are the equations that we are taking as the double angle formula for cosine 2a. Now, using the obtained equations, we can obtain answers for the tan 2a. If you need, you can simply use the compound angle formula for tangent. Then it would be much more easier. Therefore, what we are having is tan 2 times a. Tan 2 times a can be written as tan a plus a. What we know is if you are having this as the tan a plus b, this is equal to tan a plus tan b divided by 1 minus tan a tan. Then we can write down this as tan a plus a instead of b. Now we are having the value as a. Then we are having this as tan a. Then this is again equal to tan a plus tan a divided by 1 minus, here it is tan a, again multiplying with tan instead of tan b. Now we are having the value as tan a, since instead of b we are having the angle as a. Then we can take the value, it is 2 times tan a divided by 1 minus tan squared. Therefore, the double angle formula, it is for tan 2 times a, can be taken as 2 times tan a divided by 1 minus tan squared a. Therefore, if you do some the numeric substitution for these angles, if you take the same example of obtaining, here I have not done for the cosine as well. If it is cosine 120, then this can be taken as it is the cosine 2 times 60 degrees. Then you can write this as the first method. Using the first technique, we can say this cosine 2 times 60 equals cosine squared 60 minus sine squared 60. Therefore, what we have to do is cosine 60, it is equal to half. Then square term has to be considered. It's because simply this can be taken, this cosine squared 60, this is equal to cosine 60, it is to power 2. Then minus sine 60 degree, it is equal to root 3 over 2. Its square term is used. then we'll get it as 1/4 minus, here it is getting 3/4. Therefore, now you can see the value is equal to minus 2/4, which itself equals to minus half. Therefore, what you can find out is the value of cosine 120 degrees is equal to minus half. Now you can see if it is consider about the quadrant rule, first, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Here this all are positive, only the sine is positive, cosine and tangents are positive in third and fourth quadrant respectively. Since the 120 degrees falls into the second quadrant, you can see that cosine function or the cosine value of this angle is now equal to a negative value. And if you use the second equation, you should able to get the or you must able to get the same answer. If it is 120 degrees, then this will be sine 2 times, it is 60 degree. Then we'll get it as the second equation, we have obtained it as 2 times cos squared day. The second equation was we have obtained as 1 minus, it is 2 times sine squared 60 degrees. It is because we have got it as 1 minus 2 times cos squared. Then using this, then 1 is here, 1 minus, it is 2 times. For the sine squared 60, we can take it as first sine 60. Sine 60 is equal to root 3 over 2, and its square term is considered. Then we'll get it as 1 minus 2 times root 3 over 2 is equal to 3/4. Then we'll get it as 1 minus root 3 over 2, and again the value is equal to minus half. Again the value is equal to minus half. Now you can see that using the first and second equation, we have obtained the similar result. But we'll see what will happen if you use the third equation as well. If you are still taking the same value, it is 2 into 60, then we'll take it as 2 times cos squared a minus 1. Instead of a, you can take it as 60 degrees. Then we can take it as 2 times cosine 60 is equal to half. Then its square term is used. Then we'll get it as 2 times, it is 1/4 minus 1, it is simply half minus 1, which is equal to minus half. Therefore, the third equation, it is 2 times 60 degree. Then we are getting it as the same answer as minus half. Therefore, you can see that even though you are using first, second, or third equation, you should get the same results for the double angle formula or the cosine function or the cosine value of this double angle. And then we will do it for the tangent as well. Now, for the if it is asked to find out the value for tangent 120 degrees, then we can simply take this as using the double angle formula. It is 2 times 60 degrees. Then we can say it is equal to 2 times tangent of 60. Then 1 minus tan squared. It is because according to the equation, we know that tan 2a is equal to 2 times tan a over 1 minus tan squared. Then this tan a, in this sense, we can take it this value as root 3. Then it is equal to 1 minus tan squared. It is root 3. Squared has to be used. Then 2 times root 3 is used here. Then 1 minus root 3 squared is equal to 3. Then 2 over root 3 divided by 1 minus 3, it is minus 2. In this sense, you are getting this as square root of minus 3. Therefore, now you can see that the double angle for the tangent value for double angle formula using the double angle formula, you are getting the tangent of this 120 degrees, which is equal to minus root 3. And here also we can see that the quadrant rule is satisfying. Since the angle is fallen into the second quadrant, you will get the tangent value of that angle in as a negative value, since the sine values for the angles in the second quadrant will be only the positive values. Therefore, now we have discussed about the compound angle formulas and the double angles formula in this session, and now we will see about some this power reducing formulas. Here, what we are going to do is if you are having the this squared terms as the powers of the trigonometric ratios, then what we are going to do is we are going to have an equation which is equivalent to the having the powers as one, that is what we are saying as the power reducing formula. Therefore, if you are having the sine squared a, you can see that it can be simply obtained as this using the cosine angles. We can simply obtain we can simply obtain this power reducing formula. We are using the functions that we have obtained for the cosine 2 times a. Therefore, here you can see that cosine 2 times a, what we can do is according to the equations we are having, what we had was we know that it is cosine 2a was written as cosine squared day minus sine squared day. Then the next way is cosine 2a was written as 1 minus 2 times sine squared day, and the third method was it is 2 times cosine squared day minus 1. Therefore, these are the three ways that we have identified. And now what we are going to do is we are use these equations to obtain some equations what we are taking as the power reducing formula. Here you can see that we need to obtain a value for sine squared day. Then what we can use is we can use the first equation, but we are not going to use it is because we can see that there are two terms with the power 2. Therefore, we are omitting the first equation for the use of this power reducing formula. Then since we need to obtain an equation for the sine squared day, we will directly use the second equation. Since we are using the second equation, what we can do use is it is cosine 2 times a. This is equal to 1 minus 2 times sine squared day. If you are subjecting this sine squared day, then we will get it as, if you take this to the left hand side and if you send this to the right hand side of the equation, we will get this as 2 times sine squared day. This is equal to 1 minus cosine. Dividing both sides by 2 leads to obtain a value for sine squared day. Therefore, here we can say that sine squared a is equal to 1 minus cosine 2a divided by 2. Therefore, now you can see that if in the left hand side we can see that there is a power, but in once you see the quantity in the right hand side of the equation, there is no power. Therefore, we have reduced the power, but we have used some double angle formula there. Then we are used to obtain an equation to the cosine squared day. Since we can see that the third equation contains this cosine squared day, we'll use that equation for obtaining the value, obtaining the equation. Then this is equal to 2 times cosine squared day minus 1. Then we can take the terms to one side. by isolating this cosine squared a in one side. Therefore, if I isolate this 2 times cosine squared a, I can all the terms, other terms to one side. It is cosine 2a minus 1, dividing both sides by 2 leads to obtain an equation for cosine squared a. Therefore, here we will get this as cosine squared a, which is equal to cosine 2a minus 1 divided by 2. And thereafter what we need to do is we are asked to obtain an equation for tangent squared day. What we can simply do is we can instead of this tangent squared day, what we can say is it is equal to, simply it is sine squared a divided by the cosine squared a. Now we have obtained two equations separately. For the sine squared day, it is equal to 1 minus, it is 1 minus cosine 2a divided by 2 entirely divided by cosine 2a minus 1 divided by 2. Then we can take this as the next formula. Therefore, instead of what we are taking as tan squared a, this is equal to 1 minus cosine 2a divided by cosine 2a minus 1. Therefore, now you can see that these are the equations that we are using as the power reducing formula to take an equivalent equation for this tan squared a. We have simply taken the ratio between the sine squared a and the cosine squared a. Here there is a slight mistake I have made. Oh, here when at this point what we need to do is we need to take these two the right side. Therefore this should be plus value. Therefore this is a mistake which I have made. Therefore this should be a positive. It is the only change what I need to do. Since I am taking this minus 1 to left hand side, we have to take it as a plus 1. That is why we are writing it as cosine 2a plus 1. Therefore, this has to be corrected as cosine 2a plus 1 divided by 2, as well as we are using the same equation for obtaining answer for this tan squared day. We can use it here as well. Now we are moving for the next part. It is the associate acute angles. When we are discussing about this associate and acute angles, it is quite like this concept like this. The concept is sometimes we may have the angles in this form. Suppose that if you are having some compound angles in this way, suppose that if you are considering the angle as theta here. That's okay. Simply, if you are having an angle A, then we can say that angle B is the associate acute angle for this angle A. Therefore, what we can do is we can say an associate acute angle for this angle A. Therefore, if you are considering the associate acute angles, here what we can take is for this quadrant. Here we can say it as if you are taking our theta, which is equal to 180 minus alpha. Therefore, we can say that if this is the angle alpha, if you are considering this as the angle alpha, it is for the first part. Then we can say that if you are considering it is quite in the second quadrant, it is because if I explain it separately, I will take it here. Suppose that what we have had was in the first quadrant. If you are considering about the quadrant rule, we know that in the first quadrant we are having only the acute angles. If we are not considering any lines there, then the angles on the lines here we are considering for the first quadrant, the all angles are acute angles. Therefore it is no need to find out the and any associate acute angles for the first quadrant. But it is come to the second quadrant. If I take it is the in the second quadrant, then we can say that our angles are coming in this direction. Therefore if you are having the angle as alpha, then this can be considered as an associate acute angle as theta. Therefore where theta is defined as 180 minus alpha, then we are having this. If you are having sine theta, then we can take this as in this way. Simply we are having sine theta, we are saying that it is equal to sine alpha. If we are having theta as 180 degrees minus alpha, then using the compound angle formula, here it is subtraction of the angles, then we can take it as sine 180 minus alpha, and you can take that this calculation leads us to the value as alpha. Therefore if you are having the sine theta, then the associate acute angle theta having the value as sine theta is equal to sine alpha. And if it is done for the cosine theta, if it is cosine theta, then you will get an angle as theta is equal 180 minus alpha. Then we can say that cosine theta is now equals to cosine, it is the minus times cosine alpha. Therefore using the double angle formula, we can simply obtain these equations. For the second quadrant, if it is for the tan, you can say that this tan theta is equal to minus tan alpha. It is equal to minus tan alpha. And if you come to the third quadrant, you may get the angles in this way. Then you are getting the angles in this form. If we this is your theta angle, then this can be taken as the angle, it has 100 and the theta and alpha. If this is the theta angle, then this can be taken as theta is equal to 180 degrees plus alpha. This is the associate acute angle we are considering. Therefore we can say that it is equal to sine theta. If you are taking the sine value of this angle, it can be simply considered as the minus times the sine value of alpha. Then for the cosine theta, if you are taking the cosine of this angle, this can be taken as minus cosine alpha. Therefore instead of this one, what you can do is you can do this theta equals 180 plus alpha. Then you again using the double angle formulas, you should be able to obtain these values. Cosine theta equals minus cosine alpha, then tan theta will be equal to tan alpha. It is because now you can see that here you are having the theta and your alpha is in the second quadrant. Now you can see that only the sine alpha has the positive sign. For in the second quadrant, you know that sine is positive, tan and cosine. But in the third quadrant, you can find out that the tan is positive. Once you come for the fourth quadrant, it is quite like uh, here is here I have not I have again go for, if I consider the fourth quadrant later, if I taken this part, if you are taking an angle in this direction, if you are taking an angle in this direction as theta, it means that you have already completed one round, and then the new associate acute angle is this, then you can take this as again minus. It is because if you are having this if you are, once you have completed one part, then you will get it in this form. Therefore please be familiar with these associate acute angles. You can try for the proofs for these associate angles, whether you are getting the same what we are getting as the same ratios using these signs with the positive and negative using the compound angle formula. Therefore please try to obtain these associate angles using the compound angle formula. And this is all what I need to take for this session, and thank you all for your participation.